the regular public meeting to order for August 20th, 2015. Roll call, please.
Dominic, Johnson, Williams,
Here.
Lynn,
Present.
Bowman, Baker, Gage Watts, Escudate, Thibodeau, Cox, Smith, Epperson.
Howdy ho.
We have a quorum, Mr. President.
Okay, if we get Mr. Everett Harris to come do the invocation and Commissioner Williams to do so.
Did you say Reverend Harris?
That's right.
All right. Be careful how you handle them now. You get struck down.
Something? Yeah, Mr. Everett is now an ordained minister. He preached his first sermon last Sunday.
Yes.
Really? Congratulations.
The dog blew to be the preacher.
Let
us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity. This is a day that you have made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Father, I lift up these commissioners that stand before you in authority. Father, I ask that you surround them with men and women of integrity that will give them godly and sound counsel as they make decisions that affect your people. Father, I pray that you bless their families, everything that they put their hands to. And Father, we ask that you bless the people of Caddo Parish and that you continue to provide economic opportunities for them. Father, we ask that you bless the men and women of our police and fire departments, our militaries, and we ask that you continue to provide for Caddo Parish as a whole. We ask that you bless the administration in each department, and we thank you for all these blessings. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Raise the flag. Repeat after me and render a proper salute. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Don't go anywhere.
Thank you, Reverend. Thank you, Mr. Everett, for that rendering of that invocation. And I was going to announce that you were a new ordained minister, but
Sorry.
administrator.
I was excited.
Yeah, I know you got excited.
we need it.
Amen. Sure did.
There any agenda additions?
Speak for yourself.
No agenda additions. Next item,
Next, we have citizen comments.
citizens who wish to address the commission on any issue other than zoning, please fill out a comment card located in the chamber for you and return to myself or the clerk of the commission. Individual comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Okay. First one I have up is Mr. John Hubbard.
Who? Hubbard.
All right.
I'm going to ask David Detloff to come up with me. John Hubbard, 428 Travis in Shreveport. And David been involved with Barksdale Air Show, and David's taken over in that capacity, and I've rolled up to president of the Military Affairs Council. So we're here today to thank you for your past support of the air show. It truly made a difference in what we can bring to Northwest Louisiana. The outcomes and the attendance have been up drastically, and we think the quality of the acts that the citizens in this area have seen have been top notch. As you know, the Blue Angels were here last year. We had our first ever, and maybe the first ever, and I don't want to overstate that. I don't know the history of all of this, but of a flight that had our B-52, a B-2, and a B-1 in the same formation. So that heritage flight is really because now those planes are all under the 2nd Bomb Wing, which is a tenant. I mean, not on the 2nd, but the 8th Air Force. 2nd Bomb Wing is the host unit, and 8th Air Force is there, and of course Global Strike is on base. So it was a pretty historic moment. So, but your dollars and your support mean a bunch, and we're here to say thank you, and I hope you consider us for next year's budget.
Could you give us the address, Mr. Hubbard?
I thought I said 428 Travis, but Shreveport 71101. So,
Okay.
excuse me.
Thank you, sir.
And we do not have the air show dates. David will get that when he goes to the air show event in the first week of December, and we'll get the jet team schedules at that time, and then we will. It'll generally is the last week in April, first weekend of May. So that's kind of where we are. I'll answer any questions you may have.
We can ask questions during public comment.
Okay.
I don't think anyone adds anything anyway. Mr. David, you got anything you want to add to it?
No, just.
And just give us an address too, for the record.
You want my home address or office address?
Office address would be fine.
6425 Uri Drive, Suite 410, Shreveport. Just like to say thank you for your past support, and hopefully you will continue to support us. I think we do a good community service for our area, and I'm here to work with you, and if you have any questions or need anything, just let me know, and I look forward to working with each of y'all. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next is Kerry Camp. Y'all gonna do tag team as well? Okay.
Radio man. You getting geared up for it, aren't you?
It's 3 square. So instead of 3 minutes, we get 30 minutes, or, no, I'm
Get
teasing
6
with you.
minutes, both of you.
Kerry Camp, 4520 Cambridge Circle, Shreveport, 71107.
Joe Kane, 11001 Augusta Walk, Shreveport, 71106.
I'm going to let Joe, we're actually talking this afternoon, I wanted to bring up the Unified Development Code that y'all will be going over. And we have some issues with the 9.8, the billboard part of it, and wanted to visit with y'all. But I'm going to let Joe kind of start it off, and I'll interject as we go.
I'm going to try to keep it short. Just to give you an idea, where we are today is the current regulations. We can build billboards in a B1, which is 72 square feet, which is the junior panels. B2, 300 square feet, the traditional billboard. B3, which is up to 672 square feet. And then in an I1 and an I2, all of the above can go in those areas. There is a setback. We have to be 500 feet away from another billboard in the inner city. On the interstate, it's 1,000 feet, and we have to be 200 feet away from residential. And I'm bringing this up to kind of give you an idea where we are. Currently, we can convert a static billboard to a digital. Digital is incredibly popular right now. This is our 9th year of having digital in this community. I'm going to cut to the chase because we don't have a lot of time, but in 9 years since we've had digital, and Kerry's company is all digital, we've removed 193 faces from Caddo, Parish, and Shreveport. We've removed 193 faces. In that time, we have built some new ones. Anybody want to take a guess how many we've built in a 9-year period? Not that many. 80 a year, 71. That includes Kerry and the other competitors out there. The net result is, in 9 years, we've taken down 122 billboards on our own. We didn't need the MPC to say, take down that billboard. We could take a look at the street and say, you know, we might have too many over here. Plus, digital is what customers want. So what we've done is, we've trimmed the herd, cut it back by 15% of the billboards that were up 9 years ago have been removed, and we've replaced some of them, not all, but some, with digital. And even the people that don't like billboards, like my friend over at Shreveport Green, but she always says, because we've been participating in the Keep It Classy, the anti-litter campaign, but every time I see her, she says, you got to put me on a digital. But she doesn't like billboards, but she wants that digital. Making kind of a joke, but the net result has been, we've removed billboards on our own. Market conditions have kept things, less billboards, better quality. Now, I did a ratio of how many billboards we had 9 years ago and how many we took down and did this ratio. Now, other communities have shut down, no new billboards, all that. When I took the number of billboards in those parishes and how many billboards we took down, it really was interesting. If we've taken down 15% of our here, in those neighboring parishes, we should have taken down 66 billboards. How many billboards we take down? 12. Because you can't put new billboards up. So the property, and it hurts 3 people in this deal. One, the advertiser buys the billboard. They rely on us to keep that billboard in place so that they can sell more product. We have 450 local clients that buy billboards. 98% of our business is with local business and businesses with less than 25 employees. We're local. We help the local economy. So that local advertiser, if I call up and say, we lost our lease, they're mad because they rely in some cases up to 20% of their revenue from that billboard. That's what we've heard from many restaurants. Two, the property owner, they don't want to lose that revenue.
Right.
So that sign's never coming down because they want to keep their revenue going. And it's our job to invest in the product so it looks clean. Other thing to consider, over time, the planners think that we're going to be taking down more billboards. We're not. We're going to hang on to these. Because this is revenue, and it also, we're a service-oriented business. Again, they buy these billboards. My job, and part of my satisfaction, is to help my customers grow. So with the new regulations of no new billboards in the parish or the city, except for on I-20, and when I looked at the zoning areas you could build, first I have to take down 3 billboards to get a new one on the interstate, which is pretty expensive. In addition to that, it's going to be like a needle in a haystack, and the local customers, they want Uri Drive, East 70th Street. They want to be near retail. So I'm going to wrap this up. But the other thing to consider is that last year, between all the billboard companies in the parish, we paid over $1 million in royalties. That's a lot. That's quite I think that's a pretty strong economic impact in just the royalties that we pay back, just like the oil and mineral royalties being paid back. So my conclusion is current ordinance has worked, and market conditions have also made it work. If we've taken down that many billboards and presented a better product, what's broken? I don't see what's broken here. And it'd be another thing if I came up here and said, yeah, in the last 9 years, we put up 250 billboards and didn't take any down. That's not the case. So with that, and the last thing I want to bring up is our commitment to community service. The billboard industry has been like this for over 100 years, providing nonprofits and agencies advertising. Last year, our 2 organizations helped over 90 nonprofit organizations with almost $1 million in donated billboard space. And it's 90 different organizations, whether it's the United Way, a local church. We can do that because we have the inventory to give back. And the last part is timely events. You've probably seen over the years where we put Amber Alerts up on billboards. I'll wrap it up. Amber Alerts on billboards, FBI. Unfortunately, we had a recent situation with Officer LaValle. Within an hour, we had the suspect on 42 digital billboards. We could have done it quicker. The only issue was we wanted to make sure that everyone, the mayor's office, the police department, even the family, saw what we wanted to help do. And think about this, if you were a fugitive, 42 digital billboards and you're trying to get away. Then the FBI got involved. We were then able to take it to Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas. And an hour later, it was in Jackson, Mississippi on all their digital, Monroe, Lafayette, Baton Rouge, I think it was 10 different markets, put that up until he was apprehended. Okay? 86% of the American public like that. And we can do that. And we've been able to grow very conservatively. So with that, I just ask you that you would consider it, read it. It's only 4 pages, but it just shuts down this business. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Lyndon. I'm not going to take any time because Joe not only took mine, yours, and John's and David's, but hopefully in the future I'll get to come back and we'll talk a little bit more in some detail about this and really how the impact is not only to Joe and my industry, but is to actually the business owners out there. And I think that's what everybody needs to take into consideration. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next is Craig Lee.
CC Antoine, District 3.
CC.
How y'all doing? Craig Lee, 1035 Eustis Street. I'm going to give you all a general invitation for September the 12th, which is the CC Antoine birthday celebration. But what you're about to receive right now is another economic development project that myself and one of our illustrious members from Fair Park High School started 2 years ago, which is the Caddo Parish class of 1985 parish-wide reunion. So y'all can get that. We're getting ready to celebrate our 30th year reunion, September the 2nd through the 6th. And what you have in your hand is our event schedule. It's the first time in world history that group consolidated all schools in a particular school district to come together to convene. Our first 3 days are community service projects for the elderly at school, and we're going to do a cleanup that Friday morning before we actually do our meet and greet. On Saturday, we'll be over at the boardwalk doing the health and wellness kickoff, and then Saturday night we'll be at the convention center, and then we close out Sunday with a project that we think is going to actually grow. We wanted to do this at the Fairgrounds Field. We're pitting the high schools from I-20 North against the high schools from I-20 South in a softball tournament. We actually, the weather, if it doesn't hold up, we'll have that into a volleyball tournament. But I wanted to make sure that we got the information to you guys. You'll be able to come out on Sunday, get a couple of plates and see. The big thing that we're trying to do here is to bring a lot of the intellectual capital that has left Shreveport. Class of '85 has people like Hollis Conway, Shreveport Bossier's greatest, the state of Louisiana's greatest Olympic champion in the high jump. We have Kenny Davidson, Randy White, all these guys that have played pro ball, and we have even business owners. Michael will be able to tell you we had a 1983 graduate from Booker T. Washington, Maurice Barr, multimillionaire in Dallas, but he doesn't come back. So we're trying to lay the foundation for a lot of our alums, especially our black alums, to be able to come back, because most of these children in Caddo Parish Public School System are black children, and they need to see some positive role models. So this is our way of basically doing something that Ken and a few of you guys are constantly talking about in terms of economic development, but bringing our intellectual capital back, because some of them are in Dallas, Houston,
I want to
other
meet
places.
the millionaire.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, but they
You want to meet you?
a lot of them don't come back, and that's why the positive news is very important, and that goes directly into the CC Antoine deal, and I'll give you all the full update on that first meeting next month. But the city has started reconstruction of the park. They were supposed to start after the birthday celebration, but they're making some adjustments. But that almost 400,000 renovation has started, and that couldn't have started without the legislation from your mother and Mr. Cox and the support of the entire board. So we've actually exercised due diligence and great care with all of our resources that we've gotten from you guys, and we'll continue to expand that with that. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Craig. Appreciate the good work you're doing. Next item.
We have no visitors. We have no special resolutions. We adopt the regular session minutes from August 6th.
Move to approve.
Second. Moved by Commissioner Lance, seconded by Commissioner Watts. Anyone that wishes to speak? Vote. That passes 9-0.
Next, we move to communiques and committee reports.
Commissioner Williams.
Thank you, Chairman. Just want to let everybody know there was a Juvenile Justice Committee meeting on last week regarding Stop the Violence, Stop the Killing, Start the Healing. Also, there will be a meeting, Save the Youth rally at Peaceful Red Baptist Church on Saturday, 29th, from 9 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. We need to recognize that in our meeting, we also talk about all lives matter in our community, not only just Black Lives Matter, but all lives matter in our community. And we definitely want to be in prayer for our fallen officer in our community. Just be in prayer for the community as a whole, because we're in a time of healing our land, and we need to try to find peaceful, common ground solution to solve our problem. Also talk about having having our young people show more respect for the police and the police show more respect for them, so they can learn to have a cultural connection. We're working with our young ministers, young preachers, because a lot of the techniques we're using are somewhat outdated. They're taught antique, and oftentimes we need a new generation of ideals and think outside the box. It's time for some of us old guys, middle old guys, to kind of pass the torch and recognize some of the things that we're dealing with now are out of our reach. The Young Ministers Association will be working with the community policing. We'd love to work with our police chief, all our officers that patrol that area, and hopefully have a picnic, a block party to start reuniting and building relationships and building bond and trust. I'm excited about the opportunity to have etiquette training for young people in our community. When they get stopped by police, they need to know, they need to be equipped with the tools and the resources so we won't be having the type of knee-jerk reaction or the type of discretion that's been used in our community, and hope we can de-escalate the problems that are going on in Shreveport. So I'm excited about that. Secondly, I want to talk about, Mr. Chairman, something I had in the paper the other day. I asked on several occasions, I asked our administration regarding the voting rights privileges for our pretrial detainees and nonviolent offenders. And he came and, voter registry came and shared with us that, as far as his knowledge, he's not aware of anyone that had the opportunity to vote in 15 years. You know, we're celebrating 50 years of the Civil Rights Movement and the Voting Rights Act. There seems still to be voting suppression, voter intimidation, and we need to find a way to ensure that men and women that are not been found guilty in our court of law still have their rights and privileges, not only just voting rights, but health, medical rights, and veteran rights, and those things. So we don't have no way to monitor that or show that someone is compliance. But they are doing it in New Orleans, in Angola. They have a prevention initiative. They have an education component where they allow prisoners that have exited the prison opportunity to register to vote, get educated to vote, and participate in the vote by absentee ballot. We don't have that in Caddo. It's never been done. That's not right. Secondly, I'm concerned about the perception about our criminal justice system. We have criminal justice reform in this country. I mean, especially when I go to the barbershop, people ask me all the time. Oftentimes, our young poor people can't afford an attorney. They have cut the public defender funds where people can have fair representation in our criminal justice system. They always cutting on the poor people and the people downtrodden the most. They can cut everything up, but they never cut money for jail. They can find money to build jail, but don't find money to build schools and pay our teachers. So hopefully we can get a better perception about what's going on down in our criminal justice system, because we have seen some national spotlight in fairness and inequality and disparity and disproportional, where they don't even allow, don't even allow jury panels from 2010 to 2012 to serve on panels. So we need to be conscious of how we do justice in Caddo Parish. It seems like if you pay, you can stay out of jail. If you don't have money, you go to jail. So, I mean, we need to find a better system, and current system we have, because I feel like it's not fair. It shows a lot of injustice and inequality to our people that can afford to buy justice. So they end up in our prison. And hopefully we can work with to try to find a better way so people can vote in that jail, pretrial detainees and nonviolent offenders that have the opportunity to vote in this election. Whatever it takes, we need to reach out to the people, authority that run that jail, and allow these people to have a ballot so they can vote at the box and not their civil rights violation be violated for over this term. I think it's wrong, I think it's unfair, and I think it's an injustice. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Commissioner Cox.
I would ask that everybody look at this UDC paperwork that's coming up to us. Not only are these guys got a valuable point, but there's other issues that I've been hearing about through the UDC and the UDC code that's coming up, that we're really going to have to take a look at this before we actually give the okay. We need to talk to people in the industries that it's going to affect. We need to talk to
Right.
the city and the parish that it's going to affect. Just because it's written down on paper, guys, doesn't mean it's going to go through. So, do we need it? Darn tootin'. We've been trying to get something rewritten and put us on a path for years. Now we've got it. But just because it's written a certain way doesn't mean it's going to be done. Just like the animal ordinances, they're written, but they ain't done yet because now people are starting to talk about it. So when this stuff comes before us, we really need to pay attention to it, and we need to reach out to our constituents and to the business leaders of Caddo Parish and look at this hard, because once it's done, it's done. And it's going to affect a lot of people. So I would ask that y'all look at that pretty good. Secondly, and you know, I hate to step on anybody else's toes as far as a government body, whether it be the city council, school board, or something like that, but school has started. And Mike has always been out in the front for justice and stuff like that, but I've gotten a few calls, and I'm going to ask for some help through the administration to get some talking points with the school board. Bullies are back in school.
Oh, yeah.
And you started teaching, didn't you? Or
They're everywhere.
yeah. Well, I've got reports this week, and school just started, of bullies catching single kids in bathrooms and robbing them of their money. Now, we're talking about juvenile justice. We've got to do something to get these kids to understand that stuff like that changes your whole life.
It does.
Now, whether it's us, whether it's the school board, or whatever, you know, we need to change the way people think in this parish.
That's right.
And I know everybody's against jail, but once you do a crime, guess what? You going to jail, whether it be juvenile or the big jail. And for kids to, and this is middle school and high school I'm talking about, two different phone calls I got.
Worse than high school.
This is very disturbing to me. So I think we need to get with the leaders, both city council, the school board, and us, and come up with a game plan that helps out everybody. And sometimes you got to put the fear of God in some of these young kids.
I like that. Lord.
To let them see. And it's to the point now. The only thing they're afraid of is death, because everything else is on TV, makes it look good.
That's right.
And they're able
So
to exploit on social media.
we have got to get a handle on what we're doing here. We do the parish's work, I understand that. We have events that we ask people to get to, and during elections, we tell everybody, we're going to make it better.
That's right.
When I can tell you that it's not getting better. So we really need to stop pretending that we're doing our work and start making a difference, or these kids are actually going to kill somebody.
Right.
So, but other than that, that's my 2 minutes today, and I appreciate y'all's
Sound
support.
good over there, man. He said he need God. I like
You
it.
asked was 5 minutes. but okay.
Sir?
You asked was 5 minutes.
Oh, well.
You got a motion?
Mr. Dominic, you up.
Yeah, Dr. Wilson, I got one thing I want to bring up, and maybe you could help us out on. I know that I had a complaint regarding texting within the school zones, that there is a new statute that was passed. Henry provided it to me. Henry, are you here?
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Regarding texting, where you're not supposed to be texting and driving within school zones. So the question that I have, Dr. Wilson, I think that Mr. Weaver was working on this, and Robert, you might know about this, but I think we're responsible for putting up some signs. Maybe we need to get some of those signs. I think Tim may be looking at this, but let's not drop the ball about putting the no texting signs within the school districts. If it's our responsibility, if we can, put them at, all the schools, if that's our responsibility. I don't know. At least the ones
We got a plan.
we're working on that.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about that in my president report.
Well, just know that I had a complaint about it, and ones that obviously that I'm talking about are on roads that we maintain. So I hate to see that. I know we can't go out and give anybody tickets, but whatever we can do about the signage and things like that. Do what, sir?
We asked the sheriff to
Right.
help out on that. They have the authority to do, for sure.
That was the only thing I had, so if y'all can work on that, obviously, I guess Commissioner Johnson knows a little bit about it.
Yeah.
And Jimmy, before you leave, I need to ask you a question about it, and I'll just do this after the meeting, but don't leave, about a lady from Vivian that bought a piece of property from the adjudicated sale. I don't know if you were able to take care of her or not, but I just want to talk to you about that, okay? That's it.
Okay. Commissioner Thibodeau.
Yeah, I just wanted to clear something up that was said just a minute ago. My understanding when the fellow from voter registration came, he said that pre-trial detainees and was those people in our jails who were still eligible to vote have always been able to vote, but in order to do so, they had to request a mail-in ballot. And I don't think anybody has ever been denied that opportunity. Now, they may not realize that that's what they have to do, and, I see no reason we can't let them know that, but I think we're in error if we say that people were being denied the opportunity to vote. They're not being denied the opportunity. They have to take the initiative to ask for a mail-in ballot and then mail it in, and then they're able to vote. So I just wanted to clear that part up.
Commissioner Williams.
I beg to differ with you, Mr. Commissioner. Thibodeau, you mean 15 years the jail been open? We haven't had pre-education to let inmates know when they come into prison their rights. They doing it in Angola. When they come in, you could even register on the computer now. You don't even have to go down to the voter registry office. So voter education is what's been missing. That's why there haven't been no participation. So it's important if you're going to educate people, then they can participate. So once an inmate goes to prison, they think they lose all of their rights. That's why we have to educate voters and people in prison about all of their rights, because we haven't done that in 15 to 20 years. And the registrar came down and said he's not aware of any prisoner have voted in 15 to 20. You mean in 20 years we still can't educate the people about how to vote? I disagree. I think that's agreed. That's a side to what we're really trying to do, and what we're trying to do is make sure in 2015, 50 years, that people have the education, know their legal rights while they're in prison. And one of them should be one of the most civil, basic, fundamental rights that so many people died and paid their life and got shot and beat for and went to jail, is the right to vote. And they did that 50 years ago. We still haven't got to the point where we don't have to have suppression and those things. So hopefully we can start a pioneer, a new chapter in Caddo, like they're doing all across America. Every state has in their constitution, in the United States Constitution, that people have the right to vote if they're not convicted of a felon, don't have a felon in another state or any city. You got pretrial detainees that can't bun out of jail for $150. You got a $34 million jail and got 1,100 people in it. You got 1,100 people that cost $34 million to run a jail. Out of the 1,100, 9 of them or 3 are African American males for misdemeanor crimes. So don't tell me, don't sit here and tell me in 2015 that we can't educate people about voting and knowing their rights. They don't even know they have the right to get a ballot. You got a lot of people that get in jail. A lot of them don't have education. You got poverty, you got ignorance, and you got illiteracy. So that basically when they come in, they think they lose all their rights. We ought to be and got it better by now in 2015. That's all I'm saying. And all we doing is making people college criminals with misdemeanor going in with somebody that killed somebody. So they learn how to be professional criminals when they go to jail. That's ain't nothing but a college criminal. That's all. Become a college for criminals. A criminal for college. That's all the jail is. And you mix in misdemeanors along with severe felonies, they learn how to be a better criminal. So we got to do a better job. We need so much reform in this state and catch up what's going across America. Smart justice and criminal justice reform. And we need to get with the bandwagon, because we're going to bankrupt this state, this country. We couldn't think lock them up, the whole way the key is going to work. And why the floor, Clay, could you come up here for a minute? want to ask you about the bullying, diversion initiative we have. Trying to enlighten us on what type of diversion program they have in school and how can we work together.
The program, I think you're talking about the school fight diversion is one
Yeah.
that they have. And of course, they do have SROs and they have security and other options on staff for fighting, but they have a pretty comprehensive bullying program. I mean, I think first and foremost, anybody involved simply needs to be notifying the administration in the school. They need to be notifying the SRO at the school. Their parents can get involved. I mean, I have a meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m. at Warner Park to go talk to them about some of the students there. We are interacting as much as possible. We're sharing the kids that are on probation. If the administration in the school has any trouble with that child, our probation officer can be there that day. They don't have to wait for prosecution and anything else. If they're on probation, they can be on community service tonight, this weekend, anything we can do to help in terms of discipline. But in terms of bullying, it's a school matter, it's a school security matter, and as far as I know, they've got a pretty comprehensive, I'd say in the last 10 years, bullying, awareness of bullying has really grown, and they've got a pretty good response to it as far as I know. We have not had any problems where a bullying matter was brought to the administration and was not necessarily dealt with. If that comes to our attention, we do get involved. So anything I can do to help, if you let me know schools, let me know that sort of thing. We've got a pretty good relationship with principals. We can reach out to them, and any tool that we can add to their tool bag will help. Absolutely.
Thank you for that information. And last but not least, you have on your table, on your desk, Louisiana Path for Adolescents, Miss Charlotte Edwards. I'd like to call a Juvenile Justice Committee meeting. I think this is in your district, Matthew. I think she lives in your district, but she wants to come and talk to us about this program. It's similar to having a health component for adolescents. When they do come out of diversion, they still need to have some health care providers and social workers and counseling. Can you know a little bit about this, Joe?
Gets his exercise today.
I apologize, I was walking away. Did you say Charlotte Edwards?
I think that's her on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know her real well. She does psychosexual evaluations. If there's a child with a sexual charge and you've got to have a psychological evaluation to see if it's something more serious, she does those for us. So I know of her work. She's very good. The program she's talking about, I've reviewed the material. What I said is we don't have any money. So, do what you need to do. We need to find out if there are ways that Medicaid or any other funding for that. But I mean, in general, I would say I support the work she does. She works for us and she does a good job.
Well, if I could, Mr. Clerk, could we try to call a meeting for Monday and reach out to her so we can meet?
Coming Monday?
Yes.
We'll have to probably meet upstairs.
Don't matter where we meet. We want to, and plus we want to eat at this place called Taylor's on North Market for lunch. We're going to have lunch.
Oh, we're going to have a lunch meeting?
Yes.
Y'all entertaining sometimes.
Okay.
All right, Commissioner Thibodeau.
I thought it was interesting that Mr. Williams can make lunch when he's having a juvenile justice, but he can't make it for the other meetings. I just wondered about that. Now, listen, I think you and I are talking about the same thing. What I'm saying is nobody has been denied the opportunity to vote. They may not have known that they were eligible to vote. So that's two separate issues. One is to deny them the opportunity, which they have not been denied. The second is to educate people to let them know that they are in fact eligible, and if they are eligible, here's what they have to do to be able to vote. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that no one's been denied the opportunity, and so that's what I'm talking about.
Y'all kind of saying the same thing.
If you're not educated about it, you are being denied.
Well, we can't adopt everybody. That's all I got.
All right, Commissioner Dominique.
Well, I just like to kind of piggyback on some of the stuff Thibodeau was saying, but, Ernie was here the other day, and they talked about all that. If you're in jail, you need to request the vote. I mean, you need to request the ballot to vote. I think that obviously don't think the sheriff is doing anything. I think he's doing everything he can do. And I don't think there's anything we need to mandate that he needs to do. If the people are over there that don't know, I don't know how they don't know they have a right to vote. I mean, just because you're in jail, if you're not a convicted felon, you still have a right to vote. You're just going to have to request it. Now, surely they can do that. I don't think the sheriff's not, keeping them from requesting to vote. So,
Communication.
I don't know how to, to satisfy that question, but I don't think anybody's being denied anything, but, and I don't know how we get into educating about it.
My only question after 15 years, and I'm not pointing the finger against anybody. I just think that over 15 years, by then they ought to have a system to educate and trainees when they do come in about their exercise their right to vote, because most people believe you lose all your rights when you go to jail. That's all I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing with you guys.
Next item.
I think there was also administration response to any information requested from commissioners. Okay. Next, we move to President's report.
Okay. One thing I wanted to talk about is signs for the school zones. That law was passed a couple years ago, but the law enforcement bodies, Freeport Police, Sheriff Department, they can't enforce them until we put the signs up. So I was approached by the city so that we'll have the same verbiage on the signs, that we work together to make the signs, and then we'll put the signs out.
Whose responsibility? Is it ours or the?
It's both us and the city. Both public works are supposed to get together to do the signs, so there'll be the same verbiage. And then we'll put them out.
What are we doing in the parish and they do it in the city? Is that how this works, or what?
We're gonna try to get them out as soon as possible. So if we have to help out in the city to get them done, we're gonna get them done.
Okay.
The target was actually supposed to be the first day of school, but that has passed.
Pay for this year.
So right now, we want to make sure that we get them done.
Yes, city's gonna pay for this year.
Right. So we've talked about it, and it was supposed to happen, but I guess we got some kind of delay between the public works departments.
We'll find out.
The UDC, that I urge every commissioner to read the book that they have put out. I've been getting negative responses from different industries. Today we had the outdoor marketing. I also got something from the Home Builders Association. So we have to listen to what the people in our area is really talking about, because it's affecting their business. And once it affects their business, it affects Caddo Parish, it affects Shreveport, Greenwood, Blanchard, Vivian, All City, all the cities in Caddo Parish. To me, when we started out with the UDC, it was basically to put everybody on an even keel. This is our expectation. This is what we want everybody to come up to a certain standard. But with this, it's actually going beyond that. And so it's affecting the outlook of some neighborhood developments. There's now a restriction on how many trees you can cut down in building a new neighborhood. I mean, so there's a lot of things in there that you go beyond the rights, I believe, of government to do. Because if I own some property, you shouldn't be able to tell me how many trees I can take down. That's my land. I should be able to do what I want to do on it, as long as I don't infringe on anyone else. And thirdly, I want to talk about we need to schedule, and I don't know how far you've gotten, Dr. Wilson, on the intergovernmental meeting that we need to have. And we need to take the lead on it and go ahead and do it, and because we got a bunch of subjects that we need to get out to the school board and also to the city, so we're all on the same keel. And if not, then we need to get that way. Okay, that concludes the report for today.
Next, we move to public hearing on ordinances. Ordinance number 5507 of 2015, authorized exchange of parish property with Chimp Haven Incorporated.
Public hearing on ordinance number 5507 is now open. Is there anyone that wants to speak in favor of this? Is there anyone that wants to speak in opposition of? Public hearing on ordinance number 5507 is now closed.
Ordinance number 5508, declaring certain adjudicated properties to be surplus, authorized the parish administrator designate to sell parish's tax interests.
Ordinance number 5508 is now open for public hearing. Is there anyone that wants to speak in favor of this?
Is that where we are?
Is there anyone speaking in opposition of? Ordinance number 5508 is now closed.
Next, we move to ordinances for final passage. Ordinance number 5507 of 2015, authorize exchange of parish property with Chimp Haven.
So move.
Second. Moved by Commissioner Smith, second by Commissioner Lynn. Commissioner Lynn.
I was just going to say that Honoré Wesley, Douglas Rainwater, the bicycling community, and Chimp Haven have all worked together on this to where we are trading 20 acres of land that we will receive 20 acres of land to giving them 5 acres of land, of which no bicycle pathways are encumbered by this growth, and what they I'll call it properly, the Chimpanzee Trail will actually be enhanced. Chimp Haven was given, and I'm going to get the number wrong, I think it's 80 million, but I can't believe it would be so high, and so I'm going to say it's $8 million from a family in Chicago.
Right.
To enhance the project and to double their size. And part of the growth that they have in drawing it out is that this particular 5 acres falls within the acreage of where they want to grow and build this additional development. And so we worked out that swap, and it went through committee. That's all.
All right. Anyone that's wishing to speak, let's vote. That passes 8-0.
Next, we move to ordinance number 5508, declaring certain adjudicated properties to be surplus and authorize the parish administrator designee.
So move.
Second. Moved by Commissioner Williams, second by Commissioner Dominic. Anyone that wishes to speak, let's vote. That passes 9-0.
Next, we move to ordinances for introduction by title. Ordinance number 5509, amending the budget of estimate revenues and expenditures for the Riverboat Fund for the year 2015 to provide an appropriation of $3,700 for the Broadmoor Neighborhood Association. Next, we move to work session minutes, ratify the minutes of August 17th.
Move to approve.
Moved by Commissioner Lynn, second by Commissioner Cox. Anyone that wishes to speak, let's vote. That passes 9-0.
Next, we move to resolutions. Resolution number 48, 2015, amending the rules and bylaws of Caddo Parish Commission, Articles 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11, and 12.
So moved.
Moved
By Commissioner Watts, second by Commissioner Bowman. Commissioner Williams.
Who's the chairman of that committee?
I am.
Would you explain all these changes?
All of the things that you didn't get these files. Yes, sir. All of the things that we're needing, basically just adjusting to what we're already doing. So it is actually something that had already been pre-discussed, and we're just bringing it back and making it legal by putting it in writing.
I just want you to say something. You ain't saying nothing. You putting all those up here, so.
Thank you, sir.
You know,
Can I get your vote?
He was a lion, now he's a cat.
Everything underlined is new, everything crossed out is going to be taken out.
Yes, sir.
Right. That's all.
All right, Sherlock.
See no one else that wishes
Just
to
vote
speak?
yes.
Let's vote.
Right.
Okay.
Can I get your vote?
There you go.
That passes 9-0.
We have no old business. We move
Move
to...
adjourned.
Wait, we're not through.
whoa.
We move to new business.
Parliamentary.
Authorize approval of LCDBG applications for the Parish of Caddo, approve LCDB applications for sewer district number 2 and Four Forks water system.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, he had it back. Move by the chair.
Second by Commissioner
You're
Smith.
parliamentarian, you're supposed to know this stuff.
He voted, he got on there quick.
Can't read.
No one that wishes to
Y'all
speak.
voted for him.
Gotta be able to read. You ever got on there?
One that represents my district.
You wind it up, son.
That passes 9-0.
Mr. President,
Now we can...
Mike, I need to see y'all in the back.
Now we can.
I'm going to the party. Hey, hello. You going?